Right, hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the frontrunner specific banner timeline. This video is going to be very in-depth compared to the more general guideline one, because the general guideline one I was talking about everything as quickly as possible because it's a very long amount of stuff. But since we have less stuff here, I'll talk about them more in depth and explain the reasonings for pulling certain banners and warn you about certain things, because everyone's experience in Umamusume is different. Some of you are able to pull every single banner, some of you are fully F2P, so you can only pull for the important cards. So I'll try to give you as accurate of a description of why you should or should not be pulling any of these banners as possible. Right, so let's start off with the first card, which is the Mayno Top Gun Speed card. This is a lot weaker compared to a lot of the other speed cards. If you notice, you will notice that speed cards are actually one of the most competitive positions, because we have stuff like Kitasan Black, we have Esmaru, we have Biko Pegasus, we have later on Narita Top Road, Fuku and even Agnes Tachyon and El Condor Plaza. There's just a billion speed cards, and we can only have enough slots for maxing out our speed, about 2 SSRs, sometimes 3 SSRs. So we can only afford so many slots for these cards. So we don't want to stack so many speed, because overcapping speed is also not very good. We want to hit 1200 exactly as much as possible. Right, so Mayno Top Gun is weaker in that regards, but she does have Restless. So her niche use is really for when you are able to actually use pure sparks to give your stamina to a sufficient level, or you just are going for a Team Trials horse. Team Trials horse, you just need a certain amount of stamina, then you just buy Restless, bam, done already. Your Team Trials horse has that gold recovery, she passed stamina check, and then you just buy all the other gold skills. So that's her niche use over here. I highly recommend just borrowing her instead of pulling her. And then notably, I believe she has a good Pace Chaser XL skill. That's pretty much it. And if you do need stamina plus gold recovery, just use Super Creek. Super Creek will be viable for the next like 3 years basically, until Sounds of Earth comes out, and even then that's just a slight power creep compared to just using Super Creep by herself. Okay, moving on. We have a very nice banner here for a lot of players, because TM Opera O is a generic speed skill for mediums and longs. She's one of the most used parents later on, because she just has a very versatile unique. If you activate 7 skills, you get a 0.25 speed. Generally for fronts, this is actually way easier, because you have a lot of greens, you have ground wool, you have early lead, so a lot of your opening leg skills will activate, and then after that you activate 1 or 2 mid leg skills, boom, you activate this mid leg speed skill from TM Opera O New Year. That's going to be very good. Right, so that is it for the New Year TM Opera O. Very strong horse for winning, and just a very generic parent. Now in front context, you will not see her as often. Right, you will not see as often. There are some tracks where sometimes there's just nothing else to get, then you just get this skill, there's nothing much else to get. But what the meta is for front is actually just 4 horses: Kitasan, or Seiun and Seiun. It's Ballroom Seiun and New Year Kitasan as the other versions of themselves. These 4 have the only uniques for fronts that will be used for a very long time. So a lot of your inheritance will just be either one of them in particular, rather than TM. But sometimes they just don't work, then TM will be the only option available. Right? So yeah, TM very good versatile one, and is usable even if you cannot get the other uniques. Right, moving on, we have the Fuku Speed card. This card is a very strong high roll card. Why? No specialty priority at all, but gives you 150 stats, has good race bonus, has good training effectiveness, has all of the things that a support card does, like reducing your failure rate and also reducing energy cost consumption. So you are relying on this card to bounce around and then give you good amounts of bonuses on your clicks. You are relying on that in particular, right? So the thing about Fuku that I don't like is that it's quite high rolly in nature, and you will basically need to pray for good rolls on Fuku and good hits on skills, and also hitting long or medium S or mild S depending on what the hell you're hitting, right? So just adding Fuku as another RNG element is just not my thing. I don't have a lot of time. However, the good thing about Fuku Speed is that you can actually use her for a very long time, because this card is basically usable even after Make a New Track. She's not just a race bonus card. She is a card that can give you high rolls on any scenario, because she's just a friend card, right? But once again, this card just adds additional difficulty to training your horses. If you have a lot of time, feel free to use this Fuku Speed card. If you don't have a lot of time, then forget it. Just go and pull more generic cards, and those will be much more better off for you for the upcoming scenarios later on. right? So yeah, that's it for the Fuku Speed. You should be getting free pulls on this one. I just do not know exactly how much. Henry says about 60. I think it might be 100 because Rico is basically about 100 also, right? So if they do 100 for Rico, then they probably will just be doing 100 for every single support card banner, just like in JP. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this Fuku Speed over here. Moving on, we have Valentine Bourbon. This is the easiest and one of the most meta frontrunner horses. If you want to use any hint books, you can actually use it on her, because this horse will be meta for League of Heroes, which is an occasional mode that will come out that you basically want to only use triple frontrunner, and she's one of the easiest ones to chuck inside any League of Heroes because she's always good enough on those tracks, right? She has groundwork, she has front savvy, she has concentration, she has early lead. Anything you want, she has it. So this horse is very, very easy, a jobber's best friend, and meta now and meta when League of Heroes starts. Meta usually will be around the medium tracks in particular. She's more meta there. For longs, it's mostly going to be Kitasan for the front position, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Mihono Bourbon over here. Highly recommended for everyone to go and pick her up, even if you're not a frontrunner enjoyer, just because you need to have some frontrunners for League of Heroes for getting a pretty good score, right? So that's pretty much it for Mihono Bourbon over here. Moving on, we have Fine Motion Wit and Kawakami Princess Speed. Everyone knows Fine Motion. The problem with this banner is actually in the timing, because if you were to look around this banner, we got V Bourbon early on, then we have Narita Top Road, then we have Kitasan Black. This is actually a demonic time to put the Fine Motion Wit, because this is where Cygames is going to milk you dry. Alright, this card is one of the best wits cards. It gives you insane training effectiveness, it gives you insane wit output, it has 8% or 10% race bonus at 3 or MLP. It is very, very strong. The problem is the banner timing is horrendous. So now you must choose. Do you want one of the strongest wits cards in the game now and use it for a very long time? Or do you want to wait for later, much later, for the S Maru plus Fine Motion rerun banner? Because by then, if you pull that banner, there's a 6 months longevity for Fine Motion. Because after 6 months, Mejiro Ramonu comes out. And then you will just be using Mejiro Ramonu as either the solo wit card, or use Ramonu plus Mihono Bourbon wit as the other wit card to get Golden taking the lead. And later on, you get another Mihono Bourbon card. So you will use Ramonu plus the Mihono Bourbon for golden groundwork. So it's just a case of, hey, when will I be able to use these specific cards, right? So the Fine Motion now will actually be the highest value. The problem is your gem count will go down like crazy for the upcoming banner, so you're a little bit cooked in that regard. So this one, I can only help you if you tell me your situation in highly specific terms. So you will need to either go through the Ko-fi, go through the Twitch, or go through the YouTube and give me a very, very detailed question. Then I can help you with these banners. This is no one-size-fits-all banner. If you skip this, I understand. If you pull this, I understand also. There's no right decision for this one. It's just based on your choice. Right, after that we have Kawakami Princess. This is actually a solid speed card, but the thing is there's just other cards like Biko, Fuku and Top Road that are just better, you know, output wise. Like I said, speed is very competitive, so it's very hard to find another good speed card. So Kawakami, while she is solid, she's not something I would say, hey, you should go and hunt down for this card. No. The good thing is that this card does give you a position skill, center stage. So if you are making Team Trust horses, position skills are notably one of the cheapest ones, and they're still considered golds, so they give you a lot of score. So Kawakami is actually a very good card for you, if in particular, right, for Team Trials enjoyers. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The Fine Motion banner is a very, very tricky one to decide on. I will leave it to you guys to decide. Unless you need my help, then go through Discord, Twitch, YouTube or Ko-fi, and I'll try my best to help you. Right, after that we have Kitasan Black. This is a strong, long front runner horse. Very, very strong. In fact, her unique is going to be used as a parent for quite a lot of long tracks in particular. Right, the thing about front is that besides angling and scheming, we don't really have another option, right? So Kitasan Black having an excel/speed carryover skill in her kit is very, very valuable. Very, very, very valuable. So that's why Kitasan Black is a very, very important horse in the long-term frontrunner meta context. Later on, New Year Kitasan Black will be another one that will also be very, very good also. So yeah, this is basically a very, very strong horse. But one very important disclaimer: if you are relying on Kitasan Black SSR as your main speed card, don't pull this horse. Like, just do not pull this horse, because you cannot make this horse properly. for the upcoming scenarios unless you pull another SSR. Depending on what you pull, you may not be able to make this horse. Let me explain. Alright, to max the speed on this card, you need one fat SSR card, but now your Kitasan Black is gone, so you will need a replacement. You will need Biko, you will need Esmaru, you will need Narita Top Pro, you need Fuku Gitaru, any one of the other fat speed cards in order to help max the speed on this Kitasan Black. Why do I say only one? Because you can still max it with even just a Shinko Windy SR, but you need one fat SSR, otherwise you cannot max the speed on this horse over here, usually. Other than that, there's another way, which is playing 4 guts during Ment. You play 4 guts and play speed bonus like crazy, and then you can still max the speed on your Kitasan Black still. So those are the only 2 options to do it. In general, I would just say if you do not have a golden speed card, then try your best. Sorry, not golden, a rainbow speed card, then just try not to pull Kitasan Black over here. But there's another situation here. If you are a frontrunner main and you still want to insist on frontrunner maining, and you do not have Seiun Sky, then you should pull Kitasan Black. Why? It's because Seiun Sky is an important unique, but Kitasan Black and Seiun sometimes coincide in uniques. So when you inherit Seiun, you also sometimes want to inherit Kitasan Black. So in that situation, you actually need to have at least one of them ready. You need one of them ready. So in that case, if you want to, you can take the plunge on Kitasan Black and pick her up purely for parent standpoint. And then after that, you just go and borrow the Seiun permanently for your frontrunner training. Right, so that's pretty much it for the Kitasan Black explanation here. Her unique is good, her kit is good. For long tracks, she's a good parent and grandparent, but that one very important disclaimer is very, very important to understand. Alright, when we go into Grand Life, you better have another speed card. Otherwise, Kitasan Black plus no other speed card is going to be very, very tough for you to max out your speed. Really, really very tough. Right, moving on, we have Narita Top Road SSR Speed and Admire Vega SR Guts. This is a very, very powerful banner. I highly recommend everyone pull on this banner. Notably, this will also give you probably 100 pulls or so. Probably. Right? This banner gives you Admire Vega SR Guts and also gives you Narita Top Road SSR Speed. These are the 2 main cards that you're aiming for. Admire Vega is notable for the Guts build. Very, very powerful. 15% race bonus, 1 speed and 1 power bonus, and 30% friendship bonus. Just a ridiculous card. The best Guts cards during Make a New Track are Guts cards that do not have Guts bonus on them. They have speed bonus, they have power bonus, they have skill point bonus, they have whatever the hell bonus, any other bonus except Guts. Why? Because we are playing 4 Guts builds in Make a New Track, where we stack the rainbow bonus like crazy, we equip our heavyweights, and then bam, we explode, and then we do a billion stat point gains. Right, that's the idea here for the Guts build. So this one card has 1 speed and 1 power bonus, and 15 race bonus and 30% friendship bonus. Ridiculous stat output. Right, absolutely ridiculous stat output. So it's a very, very important card. But what if I'm not making a Guts build MooMooCows? No problem. 15% race bonus is rare. It's really very rare. So you can just chuck her in as a straight up race bonus stat stick and don't even raise her bond at all. Literally 15% race bonus stat sticks can just be used purely for the race bonus and not even for clicking at all. That's how insane this card actually is. Right, just a very, very insane card for this scenario, 100%. Right, after that, we have Narita Top Road. Top Road is a consistently powerful speed card. I say consistently because the other one to consider is Fuku Gitaru. Right? Fuku is a high roll card because she has no specialty rate, but Narita Top Road does have it. She's just a generic speed card that is very, very good for Ment because of her unique effect. Her unique effect is that if you race a lot and get a lot of fans, you get more training effectiveness. So by the time you've stacked up the fan bonus, by the time you enter the mid and the second year and the third year, you have so much training effectiveness that you are getting enormous rainbows on top of whatever other speed rainbows you're getting with this card. Just a very, very powerful card, right? Very, very powerful card for this scenario. It's just that after this scenario, she's dead because there's no more racing, right? No more fan bonus grinding, so you're not going to get that training effectiveness to that level of power. But in Ment, this card is consistently and very, very powerful. Right, so for those of you who want to be strong here, highly recommend to pull this banner. You can also do a little bit of a check. You just pull 100 free pulls on this banner, and then after that, you can go and see if you are lucky enough to go all in on the Narita Top Road and then consider from there. But because Fine Motion is behind, I cannot say whether you should pull this or pull this. It is really dependent on your own gem count because this is still very good and longer duration. This is very good but shorter duration. So once again, a decision for you to really make yourself. Alright, after that we have Bakushin with 10% race bonus and tail held high. It's not too bad. And after that is Ryan with 5% race bonus, and that means it's unusable in match. So end of story. We won't talk about this one anymore. Notably, if I remember correctly, this scenario and this banner actually coincides with Aquarius Cup, if I remember correctly. So that means that you can actually go into Make a New Track and make one horse or two horses or three horses for the finals and then try to win with them, because their stat bonuses will be ridiculous during Make a New Track, so you can get even more crazy shit on your horse in that period of time. So you may pull even more on the banner just to make your horse really, really powerful. I hate that, because I am very lazy and I just want to get the CM over with. I don't give a shit what placement I get. So this sucks for me, but for some of you, it will be a good thing to pull hard on this banner and then immediately go into Mant and try to shit out an insane horse. And then afterwards, you can tell me, hey, Mant is ridiculously broken, or whatever like that, alright? So yeah, I mean, this one is up to you. I just remembered that was the case, but I really hate that that is a thing, alright? Then let's move on to the next one, which is Ballroom Seiun Sky. Similarly to the previous situation that I explained, this is one of the big four parents for frontrunner in general. She is a relevant parent, she is a strong frontrunner horse, but she does not make it any easier to make her into a front horse, so it will require you to have good old sparks and cards in order to make her into a proper horse, right? No proper sparks and cards, then it's very, very tough to go and make her. Otherwise, just use her for parenting if you want, or you can if you have Seiyun and Kitasan ready, you can feel free to just perma borrow this one also, up to you, right? So yeah, Ballroom Seiun Sky, very, very solid horse and very, very solid parent also. Moving on to Nishino Flower. This is a very niche one for you guys, so you don't have to think about this too much. Nishino Flower is a meta parent for fronts occasionally and usually as copium. Why? Because of her condition, you sometimes want to use this because there's just nothing else on the track, and you accelerate into first place, and then from first place you accelerate again with your angling and scheming. So you rocket launcher yourself like that, right? Stage 1, then stage 2. So that's the niche situation I'm talking about for Nishino Flower. So that's why I'm mentioning her, but it's very, very niche. Sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's just copium. So really, it's just a matter of, hey, instead of buying this, why not just buy other shit? But you can look at her sometimes for some of those tracks where she's a usable option. Right, sometimes she's usable. So yeah, this is mostly for pacers in general, but for fronts, sometimes she's usable. A bit like Maruzensky and Taiki a little bit. Sometimes you'll be the third front, then you can shooting for victory into your first place, and then after that first place you activate angling, boom, you can still try to win from there. Something like that, right, for Nishino Flower. So that's the niche case here that I'll mention here. Notably, she's also a very solid pace chaser, one of my favorite horses also, and she's very, very cute, right? After that, we have two horses that are kind of not so awesome. Ines Fujin is a very weird horse because she wants specifically an uphill for her unique. 300 remaining distance plus uphill. Usually the tracks, that would mean that you are getting your finishing speed, your final leg speed rather than your mid leg speed, which is not going to help her to get the first position. You need to get first to win as a front runner, right? So because of that, this horse, unfortunately, it's a bit too niche. Your unique ends up being like a Fuji Kiseki unique, usually, right? So yeah, the good news is that this horse does have innate mid-leg skills to kind of compensate for that. But what happens is that horses with mid-leg uniques plus those mid-leg skills are going to be better than you. Smart Falcon, Bakushin, your Mile Maven horses on miles, and then your Maru, Valentine, Bourbon, all of these have like other stuff to help them fight for the front. So in general, this horse is going to not be very, very relevant. You can pull if you like her, but ultimately I don't think it's important enough to pull. After that, we have Mejiro Palmer. Some people really like this horse, right? So this horse is kind of designed to be a runaway horse for long tracks, but can also be a regular front for the long tracks. The runaway position, why she's designed for it, is because of her unique. Her unique gives her a fat recovery, just a humongous recovery, right? And in longs, you actually will not find another runaway. Like, it's very rare to find runaway horses on long CMs unless they specifically are doing the rocket strategy, where they're trying to accelerate their pace chaser horse into oblivion and then just win the game from there. But not everyone's going to do that, right? Not everyone's going to do that strategy. So yeah, it just depends. For this horse, because of her unique, she can actually get away with lesser recoveries, especially as a front. So that's actually very good for the cost efficiency for SP costs on long in particular, because long we usually spend a lot of SP costs on our go recoveries. So that's something to consider when you're looking at Mejiro Palmer. But the bad and worst thing about Palmer is that while she is designed to be a runaway, right, she actually cannot be during Make a New Track. In Make a New Track, they delete every single secret event, no Suzuka Runaway, no Shapeshifter Mayano, no Takarazuka Kinen for Gold Ship to give her late start. There is no hit-on grinding at all for Taiki, for Teo, anyone. Everyone cannot get it because secret events, good or bad, are all deleted straight up. So Palmer is basically relegated to frontrunner duties during the make a new track scenario only. Right, so yeah, not really a high priority horse in any shape or form. Alright, moving on. We have another horse over here, which is Seiun Sky, the old classic. If you don't have Seiun Sky by this point, you may consider pulling on this banner here because you want to inherit usually either like a Kitasan Black unique, either a New Year Kitasan Black unique plus a Seiyun. It could be Ballroom Seiun, could be Seiun Sky, right? So it just depends on how many you want to have so that you only need to rental one, right? I recommend just getting like one Seiyun and one Kita. Then after that you can just borrow the other one if you need the other one, right? So yeah, this Seiun Sky getting in now will be very, very solid. The problem is that this period of time is very, very rich in banners, very, very rich. Right, let's talk about the next one, which is Throne. So some of you may have heard that this card is very, very bad. That's a bit of a over exaggeration. This card is actually one of the most ridiculously broken cards for Make a New Track. The problem with the card is actually just the timing, purely just timing, because the timing of this banner is literally when Make a New Track ends. So you only have like 1 or 2 months left where this banner will be usable for you. If Cygames wants to print money, right, if they want to print money, they will move this card earlier. If they move this card earlier, then everyone must pull this card because this card is broken. This card is ridiculously broken because it's basically it's like Rico Kashimoto. It's like Rico Kashimoto, but it gives you 1 million wit. And at the 5th date, it becomes a rainbow. You can rainbow this card. It is a rainbow wit card, and it gives you so much wit like Rico. Rico gives you stamina and guts, right? Then this is the Rico version for wit. So this card is very, very powerful for Mant. Just the timing is the only bad thing. If I were Cygames, I would just say, hey, I would move this banner earlier. No choice. I will have to make everyone pull this banner and I'll get millions of dollars. That's what I would do if I want to get a lot of money. So Throne's Assemblage is notably going to be horrendous if it releases at the same timing. If it releases same timing, skip. If it does not release same timing, then we have to pull this card. It is extremely broken for Make a New Track. Right, so yeah, just take note of that for Throne's Assemblage here. After that, we have El Condor Speed SR. This is a very solid Speed SR if you like any speed cards. Really one of the most strongest speed cards and a hard carry card for a lot of the early game F2P players. Really very, very powerful. So do consider looking at this banner if it's early, and otherwise just don't look at it at all. Right, moving on. Like I said before, Seiun Sky, there's another very strong banner here, which is Ghost Ship Summer. In particular, Ghost Ship Summer is going to be meta for every team trial horse and every debuffer, because she has a unique skill. When inherited, allows you to activate one gold skill regardless of any condition on the track. Straight up any condition. Alright, for actual usage it's not that interesting, but for Dominator debuffers, it means that you can straight up just buy Dominator and then go to any CM and then just shoot Dominator. Boom! Now we can debuff on any track just because of this one horse. Same for team trials. Activating one random gold skill is more score. More score. So why not get the more score from this Ghost Ship Summer over here? Very, very powerful horse, especially for team trial enjoyers and for your debuffer. So again, another more generic horse. And sometimes you want to do double Dominator strategies on mile, on short, on like long. Literally, you can just use Ghost Ship Summer. Very, very powerful horse. Right, after that we move on to Maruzensky Speed. This is an insanely good speed card for frontrunners. It literally has like 10 plus skills with all of the stuff that a frontrunner could love and want. In addition to that, her training effectiveness scales on the unique effect, right? It scales on the level of your facility, meaning that if you have level 5 speed, you will get a maximum of like 20 to 25 TE. That is humongous, right? Straight up, at one limit break, you would use this card on a frontrunner, like legitimately. It gives so many skills, so many good bonuses, and so much TE that is actually what I would consider usable, right? Of course, it's actually copium, but like usability-wise, the TE is hard carrying this card, really hard carrying, alright? So what happens for fronts is that they really want this card. And then they'll use this card alongside Kitasan or Biko. And then they'll have some insane stat output plus insane skill output. You literally can get groundwork from this card, by the way. Literally groundwork can come out of this card. So this card is incredibly powerful, highly recommended. But the thing is, this card will rerun alongside Fine Motion Wit in a banner a couple of months later. Similar to the Fine Motion decision, you must decide now, hey, should I pull this card here or wait for later? It is dependent on what your value department is. Do you want time? Because you can be strong now all the way until that banner comes out, right? And then Fine Motion, if you got it already, then why not pull the Maruzensky Speed? You already have Fine Motion. Then that rerun banner is less value, right? Because you don't need to get Fine Motion anymore. Then just pull Maruzensky Speed only, for example, right? What's the use of duplicate Fine Motions at that point? So it's just dependent on your accessibility for Fine Mo as well as Maruzensky Speed, right? What do you want? Do you want it now? Do you want it later? Do you have the gems now? Because if you look at the banner timeline, Seiun Sky into Ghost Ship Summer into Maruzensky Speed, maybe you don't have enough. But if you have Seiun already, then you maybe have enough. So it really just depends. Maybe you don't care about Team Trust at all, then you skip Ghost Ship Summer, also can, right? It just depends on your decision at this point in time, right? So that's it for the Maruzensky Speed. Don't need to explain much. It's really just a very insanely powerful card. Even non-fronts can use this card, literally. Even non-fronts use this like a Biko Pegasus stat stick. It's just that powerful, right? Moving on. We have Copano Rickey. So to add on to the pain of having all those awesome banners together, we have Copano Rickey, who is basically one of the best dirt horses to pull. And similar to Smart Falcon, if you want to force her into a mild or medium race, you can literally do that. You can do that, and then you just shove 5 or 6 greens into her, and then she just wins. She's just that insanely powerful. We will only have 1 to 2 dirt CMs a year, so that's where she will really shine. But some people will even force her into Mao, and she's still insanely powerful on Mao. The reason why is because of her unique skills on greens. So if you get 5 to 6 relevant greens for that track, she will just beat the shit out of everyone. She's just that powerful. Alright, of course you want to get 6 as much as possible, but if you can't get 6, getting 5 is still okay enough to win against a lot of other horses also, right? So yeah, the Copano Rickey, very, very powerful horse. And if you are willing to force her into turf, she's also really powerful there. Really, really powerful horse. And for dirt, we will never see another serious competitor until Summer Hoko Tarume. And after that, it's Parade Rickey and Parade Falcon, because they don't have any other dirt horses. Straight up. Then after that, go all the way until like Onsen Transcend. I think that's the only other one that that is like super new, right? So yeah, like this horse here, like is the god of dirt, and even now in JP, still very relevant. Still very relevant even now in JP. All right. So yeah, moving on, we have the Smart Falcon Grand Life version. This one is a bit of more of a side grade for the OG Falcon. The horse has a speed and recovery on her unique. The speed is exactly the same as the OG Falcon. The recovery helps to min-max the stamina. But the banner being stationed next to Copano Rickey makes this horse value like horrendous. Because Copano Rickey is like the god of dirt. Like, yeah, and then if you have OG Falcon, you don't really need to get this Grand Life Falcon. It's not that important to get this Grand Life Falcon. So it's not, yeah, it's not really that important. You might as well just use OG Falcon. It's about the same level of power as this one for quite a few of the dirt CMs. So yeah, that's pretty much my final logic here for this Copano plus Smart Falcon combo. Right, after that, we have another major banner. Yep, so even more dirt into the wound. Hey, look, Light Hello and Agnes Tachyon Speed. This is the generic banner. Agnes Tachyon is the strongest speed cut during Grand Life. Her stat output is amazing, her 2 SP bonus is amazing. In Grand Life, how it works is that you will play songs. The songs give you friendship bonus multiplier and specialty rate up. Agnes Tachyon is literally usable at 1 limit break because of the buffs from Grand Life. That's how powerful she is, right? Just a really seriously powerful card for Grand Life. She will fall off immediately after Grand Life. Right, so that is the downside of this card over here. She's literally one of the strongest cards in this point in time because of the skill point bonus and because of her insane stat output comboed with the Grand Life buffs to specialty rate and specialty friendship bonus. Right, yeah. And then for Light Hello, this card is like Riko Kashimoto. You can straight up use MLBR you can use 1 LB Light Hello, you can use 0 LB Light Hello. It's just dependent on how much training effectiveness you want to go and hunt for. That's the only difference between the two of them. This card is not like Rico and not like the Throne card. It will not give you a crazy amount of stats. What it mostly gives you is tokens. So this is the introduction of scenario-specific currency. If you do not pull the scenario card, you do not get tokens for that scenario that is important for the scenario mechanic. So now we are getting scenario creep, right? So from now on until the end of time, there will always be a scenario card, and that scenario card will basically force you to pull it because it gives a scenario specific currency. I believe there are only 2 scenarios where you don't have to pull for a scenario card. One is for Mecha, and I cannot remember the other one, sorry. I think Ment was the other one actually. So Ment, and then after that is Mecha. I think those are the only 2 that don't care about it. Right, so yeah. For this one, feel free to get Light Hello, but if you get the MLBR, it's still pretty usable already because it's literally there just to give you tokens only. Right, so yeah, that's the logic for this final banner over here, and that is the end of our timeline for now. The frontrunner timeline, it is a lot of work, so I don't want to do until 1 year. You guys will forget anyway. I'll do the rest of the 6 months after the 6 month period, and then this will be sufficient for your planning for at least the next 6 months. This will explain everything that you need for this frontrunner banners and which one to prioritize and which one to consider. Just know that every position will have their period of time where they are super cooked. There will be 3 or 4 awesome banners in a row, and then you must make a actual decision. Hey, which one do I pull, or do I pull out the ultimate support card, the credit card, and then go and pull any card I want? Right, so that's pretty much it. If you need more details, Discord, YouTube, Twitch, Ko-fi, the big 4. Ask me, ask Discord, I don't care. They will give you very, very solid advice. Alright, feel free to go to any of them and then ask them. My people are very, very good already at playing Umamusume, so you can just rely on them also. Right, so yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, for this video here. Hope this has helped you, and thank you guys for watching. I shall see you guys in the next banner timeline video, or whatever video the editors decide to go and push out. Go and complain to them inside Discord if you want to. Bye-bye.